Okay, good morning. Welcome to to our May and June workouts. We're gonna mix things up a little bit. We have a different workout, different warm up this morning, and a different workout, of course. But we're gonna start on the floor. So find a comfortable sideline position. You can be all the way down. You can have a pillow under your head. You can prop your head up, whatever is comfortable. You want to be all the way up on your side, so your hips are perpendicular to the floor. Bottom leg is straight. We're going to bend the top leg and we're going to take the knee and the toe down to the front and then the heel down to the back. It's not too different from the TikToks that we used to do from the clamshell position, but a little bit bigger movement. And I want you to focus on using your hip muscles to make that rotation happen. So instead of opening wide, that's a big exaggeration. I want you to think about making the hip muscles work, make the top of your femur move in that hip socket, and trying to stay relaxed through your belly, through your pelvic floor. One more. Getting a nice little pop every time I do that. Let's flip around and do the other side. So bottom leg straight, top leg you're going to bend, toe and knee come down to the floor as best you can, and then heel down to the floor in the back. So try to bring your knee up when you go back. Don't just slide back, because I know we can all do this. It's the opening of the hip that we want. Let's do two more. Good. It feels a little different. And then we'll come onto our back. And excuse me if I'm using my notes. We mixed up the warm up this morning, so I am trusting a memory I haven't established yet. We're going to come up to tabletop and just do maybe 3 to each side. Windshield wipers. And then bring your feet down, and we're going to go side to side, come back to center, and lift. Side to side, center, and lift. Four more. Side, side, center, press through your whole foot. Side to side, center, lift. Last one. Side, center, and lift. Bring it down. Let's bring your legs up to tabletop. If you're feeling limber already, you can come to a straight leg. I'm not there yet. We're going to go for 8 dead bugs, 4 on each side. Let's extend. Think about your back staying nice and flat against the floor. Your spine can feel the floor. 8, and then hug your knees in, make little circles. And we'll roll over onto hands and knees. On your hands and knees, your knees are under your hips, hands are under your shoulders. Take one hand behind your head, and we're going to go for 5 rotations, taking that elbow down towards the opposite arm, and then looking up towards the ceiling. You want to keep your hips still and find as much movement as you can through that upper back. This is 5. We'll bring that arm down, switch sides, and we'll go down. Last one. Good. So from here, we're going to do some spinal articulations. I keep moving my toes, don't worry about that. Your feet can be in any comfortable position. So first, let's do pelvic tucks from this position. If you're in a neutral back, we're going to tuck the pelvis under and then tip it back. So if your pelvis is a bowl, you're rocking it forward, rocking it back. Tailbone comes up, tailbone tucks under. And all we're moving, see if I can see it in you, we're just moving the lower back and the tailbone and your hips. You shouldn't see your mid back or your upper back moving at all. You're just finding that range of motion that you've got. Good. And then come back to a neutral spine for that part of your spine. Let's go to your upper back. And so we'll protract your shoulder blades out so your back lifts up. Retract them in towards your spine. So they come down. And to that, we're going to add a chin tuck and a neck lengthen. So as you protract and lift towards the ceiling, tuck your chin towards your chest. And then neutral neck, retract the spine, or the shoulder blade, sorry. And then bring everything back to neutral in your upper back. And we'll just try it a few times. It's very hard to find your middle spine. To move just your middle spine without moving through your shoulders and your hips. So let's just give it a few tries. There you go. It's not a big movement. I may not even be able to see it on you. But if you feel like you're moving, and I'm not telling you, you're moving your shoulders and your hips, you're doing great. So let's turn it into a full cat-cow. Tuck tailbone, tuck the chin, round everything up, stretch, greet the morning in this awkward position. And then extend everything. Take that tailbone up, crown of the head up, lengthen through the spine. One more time. Round, and then lengthen. Good. So we're going to come into a plank on our elbows. And we've done plank to down dog. We're going to do plank to dolphin. So dolphin is the position, same thing as down dog, but from your elbows. And we're going to hike up and come back to your plank. So again, just 5 times. Let your back release as you go up. Press your heels down. And then come back down on your hands and knees. And we're going to come into a lunge. So take one leg forward. Both hands are on the inside of that foot. And we're going to stretch your back leg straight. And we're going to stay here. And rotate up towards the front leg. And down. 2 more times. And then we're going to drop the knee and lift it up. Drop that back knee, lift it up. Hands or whatever position is comfortable for you. I realize we haven't warmed up our wrists at all. And if you can, as you're going into this, see if you can straighten that front leg. You can even move your hand to the outside of your foot so your hands are on both sides of your foot. Then come back into that lunge, drop your knee, bring your hands up onto your forward leg, and come into a hip flexor stretch and back out of it. Hip flexor, back out. This time come into that lunge, lift up, walk your hands over, and we'll do the same thing on side 2. So finding your position, with your knee down, let's lift it up And do some rotations, reaching up towards that front knee, the side of your front knee. 3. And then bringing your hand to the outside of that knee, knee down, and then try to straighten the front leg. It's absolutely okay if you don't get to a straight leg. And let's bring it down, drop that back knee, lift yourself up into a hip flexor stretch, do another hamstring stretch. Oops, I'm losing my balance. 4, 5, bring your hands down, lift that back leg up, turn your feet, walk around back to center. So now we're in our familiar forward fold, and come into a squat and lift your hips. Squat to stand. And then bring your hands onto your knees, drop one shoulder, drop the other shoulder. One more set. And let's roll it all the way up. I can adjust my camera because we're standing for a little while. And let's take one big circle, step it out. One step, 1, 2, 3, circle, 1, 2, 3. Nice big wide circle. Last one. Find your balance on one leg. Let's do some leg swings. And let's go across the body. And then if you still got your balance, great. If you need to hold on to something, hold on to something. Let's point your toe down and do some ankle wiggles. The first thing we're going to do both days in this session is a little bit of springiness, finding the springiness in our legs. So let's circle your ankles, do whatever you need to make them feel good, and let's switch sides. So finding your balance, leg swings. And then going across for 8. One. Point your toe. Let's do some wiggles. Circle your ankles, whatever feels good. Bring your feet under your heels, hands it out. I was talented, I would do arm swings at the same time, but I think I fall over. Here we go. Couple more. And let's swing our arms. They're waking up our shoulders. 5. Alrighty, so first thing we're gonna do is a little bit of bouncing. So you don't have to come off your toes, but you can come off your toes. You can make these little jumps, or you can just lift your heels up and come up on your toes. We're gonna go for about 20 more seconds. We can take it side to side. And forwards and back. And the cruel thing about this is we have 5 seconds. Kind of feel what it feels like to have your weight and your ankles and your knees all working together. So we're going to take this into a split squat. And we're using no weight today. We're gonna progress this as the month goes on. Come into a split squat. And we're gonna go 5 and jump. Or come up onto your toes, or just come up really fast. So bounce, 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 bounce up, bounce up. 1, 4, 5, and up. Let's do one more on the side. And switch. So as we go, we'll be switching legs in the middle. We'll be shrinking the bouncing part. But I want you to get that feeling of bounciness. 2. Three more. Last one. Good. Take your legs out and grab a drink. So while you're drinking, if we always train ourselves to go down and up, we're learning one speed. Even if we go down slow and up fast, we're still learning 2 speeds. Your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles will over time, especially as we get older, lose that springiness where you can react at different paces. So feeling springy, feeling a little bit more athletic, that's one of my goals for this month, or the 6 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever we've got together. So there are different ones to do on Thursday, but that's where we'll start. So let's come back down on the floor. A little bit of core checking in with where everything is. We'll start with something very familiar. Start with bird dogs. If you can, we're going to start in a balance beam and we'll extend, crunch, extend, and switch. Make sure your legs are going straight. We're going for 8 of these. And switch, extend as long as you can, crunch, elbow to knee, extend, and switch. Notice how much hip shifting you're doing. These go fast. Extend, crunch, extend, and switch. Last set. And from here, let's just, if you got an animal under your belly, I understand it's hard to get your elbow to your knee. Let's circle out your ankles, but your wrists, whatever feels good. Maybe just holding and stretching them this way. We're going to be doing a little bit of bear crawls. Last time we're on our hands. I think we have one plank variation coming up. Do we? Yes, we do. We have one plank variation coming up, and that's it for the whole workout. So let's do our bear crawls. We'll come up to standing. We'll do our weights. We have 2 rounds of exercises to go through twice, and then we'll pull down. So bear crawl, we're going to do a box. We haven't done these in a while, but I know you know how to do them. So knee hovering just above the floor. We're going to take 2 steps forward. We're going to go 2 steps to the side, 2 steps backwards, and 2 steps to the side to the beginning. And we're going to do that one more time, and that's all you have to do. Focus on quality of movement, even up your hands. Make sure your hand and foot are moving at the same time. And we're off. So for our first set of exercises, we're doing biceps. So you can find your weights. We're going to be doing biceps to an overhead press. We're going to be doing a rear delt fly to a front raise. So smaller muscles. And then we're going to be doing goblet squats with the double pulse. So you can stay light for the arms and the shoulders unless you want bigger biceps, then go a little bit heavier. And for the goblet squat, please go a little bit heavier because I know you're strong enough. You can do it. Okay. So we're going to go for 12 to 15 reps of everything. So we'll start with a hammer curl, rotating to an Arnold press, down and down. 2, 3, good. 4, few more. 14. This is 15 for me. You do you. We're going to take a little pause because it's shoulder work to shoulder work. And grab a quick drink. Roll your shoulders, get ready. Grab your weights. So a rear delt fly to a front raise. We're going to hinge back so your hips are holding you. Abs are holding you. Spine is strong. Rear delt fly, spread your wings out. Come up to standing to a front raise. Hinge back, out to the side, and up for a front raise. 3, 4, 6. So make sure when you're coming up, your body is strong and tall, and you're not arching your back. And if you're still going, if you can do a couple more, go a couple more. I'm watching. I've done 12. That's what my shoulders say is right this morning. Don't let me impede your progress. Okay, so we're going to swap out the lighter weight for a heavier weight. And we're going to do double pulse goblets. Again, we're going for 12 to 15. Weight stays back towards your heels. Sink it down, pulse, and up. Good. Go as heavy as you can. See if you bring your elbows down towards the inside of your knees, your thighs. That was 15 for me. Wherever you are, 15 for you. You're going to take 10 seconds and move this out of the way. And we're going to go into a 20 seconds of speed skaters. So I want you to give me your all, keep your heart rate up. Ready, let's go. Side to side. You don't have to jump it. You can take a nice big step. Get those arms moving. And we stop in 3, 2, and 1. Now we get a minute off. And we go into that all over again. So shake your hips out, swing your arms, wiggle your body, grab a drink, let your heart rate come down. Although, as I found out teaching class yesterday, I seem to be the only one who still gets elevated heart rate. Still working on getting acclimated. Strange as it sounds. When we first moved here, just going up and down the stairs would get us winded. And do some butt kicks, loosen up your quads, pick up your hamstrings. And when I tried to do strength workout, this was 6 years ago, I feel like my heart was pounding out of my chest. It's not that bad this time, but I definitely noticed it during my workouts. My heart rate comes up, I get really breathy fast. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our hammer curl to a press. Round 2, we're still going for 12 to 15. If you're done, you're done. Make sure you have good form, because when you do that press, when you get up here and reach up, I don't want your backs doing this. I want you to stay nice and strong and tall with your ribs over your hips, spine supported by every muscle in your body. I like a split stance, helps me stay that way. So let's go. Bicep to press, down and down. 2, 3, 4. Looks good. 9. No more. Getting heavy. Ooh, here we go. Last one. Up, up, down, down. Nice work. Now I'm going to swap out for a little bit of the lighter weight for that. For the rear delts. Smaller muscles, rear delts, front delts is what we're doing. So hinging, flying your arms out for a rear delt. Coming up, front delt. We're getting all sides of your shoulders in this workout. Almost there. Hang with it. Couple more. If you're done, you're done. You might just keep going until you realize tomorrow that you were done. Last one. Out. And up. Nice work. Catch your breath for just a sec. Grab a drink if you need it. Find that heavier weight that we're using. I don't know if the video is going to pick up all my heavy breathing. I hope not. I hope the microphone's not that sensitive. Here we go. Little pulse and up. Squeeze the booty at the very top of the movement, feeling strong and tall. Good. Like that your knees aren't trying to cave in. You want your knees always tracking over your toes. You need to lift your heels, rest them on something. I have one more. It could be that I lost my count because I was talking. Someone else is new, right? Okay, we're gonna go in 10 seconds, 20 seconds as speed skaters. Give me your everything. We go in 3, 2, 1. Find that spring in your step, the bounce in your muscles. We have 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Swing your arms. Walk it off. Grapevine. Let your heart rate come down. We'll have a little break. It'll take 2 minutes. Take care of your pets. Refill your water bottle. Drink your water bottle. And then we'll go into our second straight set. Ooh. Ooh. So to get you cued, everything in the second set is on the floor. So I will adjust my camera. You'll need one band. So first day of the workout, I'm going with the yellow band. I suggest you do 2 because we haven't done this move before. What's coming up. And we will need weights for doing a chest press variation. So again, we're going to work the shoulders, but this time with the chest, not the back. Okay, we still have about another 30 seconds. Maybe let's stretch your wrists out. You're on hands and knees, fingertips towards your knees. Lean back just a little bit. We'll hit your wrist, get a nice stretch. Okay. So we're going to start on our backs doing the chest press variation. Oops. Move this a little bit closer. Weight in each hand. Hopefully you see me okay. If you do the rotation at the bottom or the top, doesn't matter to me. We're going to start in a regular chest press position, right? Elbows out, hands up. We're going to come up. When we come back down, we're going to rotate your elbows into your ribs. Press and rotate your palms towards the wall behind you. Rotate back down and come out. So it's up, regular press. Rotate your wrist towards your head or your palms towards your head. Bring it down, rotate back out. This is 3. Rotate, lift your arms up. 4. Rotate elbows in, palms towards your face. Rotate back out. 5. 6. You want to make sure your wrists are staying neutral, that you're not letting them pop back like that, because that will hurt your wrists over time. 7. So wrists stay neutral, knuckles are in a nice straight line. with the rest of your arm. 9, and because this is a double move, we're going to stop at 12. So this is 10 for me. If you're done, you're done. This is 11. And last one. So ways to make that a little more challenging if your weights are light is to use a band. It might get a little wonky with the rotation, or you can go a little bit heavier. Okay, we're going to take that band, okay, and we're going to put it on our feet. And we've done these before. I'll show you. We've laid down and we've pulled and we've pulled, and you're saying, Debbie, we've done these before. Why are you giving us the easy band? You can always go back to that exact movement on the floor. We're going to try doing it with our feet elevated in a bridge. Your posterior chain from your back down to your heels is pretty strong by now, so let's see what it can do. So we're going to come up into a bridge with your legs straight on a table, on a chair, on a hearth, on whatever you got, and we're going to pull in. And the easy band, because we haven't done this before, we still have a few weeks ahead of us to get heavier and to get crazy. I want you to think about squeezing those glutes and trying to hold your hips as level as you can. And 20. Bring your hips down, hug your knees into your chest, and let your back completely relax. We can take the band off. We're going to roll over, and we're going to do Superman pulls. We've done these before also. Get a little more room. Really, you're starting like this and pulling in. So that's the arms. We've always kept our feet locked into the floor. If that feels right for you in your back, I want you to keep your feet locked into the floor. If you're ready to move on, if you're feeling safe enough with moving your upper back without tweaking your lower back, we're going to add some legs. And it looks like this. We're going to lift and pull. Feet come up. Everything comes down and forward. 2, 3, A-okay. Leave your feet on the floor and use your legs like an anchor to support your back. And then rock back into child's pose. Let your back round and rest. And we're going to come into plank from your elbows. So remember how we've talked about if you can't hold the plank, you just drop your knees and you hold that plank position. We're going to be playing with that. It turns into a quadriceps exercise, right? Because your legs are holding you and keeping you from falling. So we're going to come into a plank and do 10 knee drops. Knee drop, right back to your plank. Knee drop, back to your plank. Don't lose your plank. I want your knees to stay in line with your shoulders, so we're not just bending, which will also work your quads. But I want to get that little core element going. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rock back into child's pose. So it's another move. This is the basic first day after a long break. Get used to the moves, get familiar with the moves, and we'll build them over the month. We're not going to stay with this unless that's where you are, and that's okay, but we're going to keep building. So let's come back onto the floor. We're going to go through everything one more time because we have time to do everything twice. If you want a heavier band for the psoas marching that we did with your feet up in the air, take a moment and grab it now. And maybe what I'll do is I'll show you from here. If I was lying on the floor and my arms are in this position, regular chest press, we're rotating and then rotating your palms and lifting that way. So it looks like this if I was vertical. It's a little tricky. I think as long as your shoulder is doing a rotation, your fist is doing a rotation in there, you'll be fine. Here we go. Let's go up, rotate, and press up. Rotate, press up for 2. Three. Oh, my shoulders are feeling it. We've done a lot of shoulders today. And arms. 8. Let's do 2 more sets of these. If you're done, you're done. You can meet me where 1 more. Let's do 1 more. Up and down, rotate up and down. Put the weight safely away. Grab a heavier band. And I know myself well enough that I'm going to stick with the easy band. We go for 10 on each side, just like we did before. Heels up on top of something. It doesn't have to be this high. It can be lower, as long as you're holding yourself up in a bridge. You can have your hands on your hips to see that your hips aren't doing this as you're moving, and pull. Dig those heels in, squeeze those glutes. Knees coming straight in towards your chest, maybe towards your shoulder, not any wider. And I've lost count. I'm going to do 1 more each side. With a heavier band, you might slow down a little bit. Slide your knees into your chest, give your back a little rest. And we'll roll it over. So Superman pulls. With or without that leg lift. Let's lift and pull. Come back into child's pose. Let your back rest for a few seconds. Whenever we work in extension, you want to give your back a chance to rest in flexion, and vice versa. And usually we're working in extension. So child's pose feels so nice. Most of the time. Let's come into a plank. And remember, hold that plank position, drop your knees and up. Let's see if we can get 12 to 15 in now that you know what the move was. And come back into child's pose. And we will stay here for 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Stay here 20 seconds and then we'll play with it. So let your arms stretch out in front of you. Hips go back towards your heels. Take your hands over to one side or the other. And then because we did so much back and shoulder work, let's come back up onto hands and knees and thread the needle and sink back into child's pose. And we'll hold this one a little bit longer. So keep reaching out to the side with one arm, reach forward with the other, back with your hips. You can make this as active as you'd like. You can adjust your hand positions, get the stretch on the back where you feel like you need it. And let's switch in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it up, switching arms, reaching under. Sink those heels, hips back. Reach one hand forward, one arm out to the side. Stretch through your back. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Coming up into half kneeling. Let's take one leg out to the side. And my foot over here is triangulating to keep me steady. See if you can bring your foot back so everything is in line under that down knee. And let's glide sideways. Let's stretch out those inner thighs. So your body is facing forward, but everything is sliding to the side. So imagine you're between two panes of glass. So we're not rotating and doing this, which also feels good. Good. And then let's take that leg forward, stick that leg out straight, push that hip back. Don't put your hands on your knees, keep them above or below. You can reach for your toes. Sit back as far as you can. If your hips go to the floor, yahoo. If they don't go to the floor, yahoo. Here we are. You're just stretching through the back of your leg. Stay here for 10 more seconds. And then we'll switch sides. Come on up. Other side. So knee out 90 degrees, body is facing forward. Your body is between two panes of glass, sliding to the side through the glass, between the panes. Let's do a couple more. And then bring that leg forward, stretch it straight. Push your hip back or down, like you're sitting towards your heel and reaching forward, holding onto your thigh, whatever feels good to you. It's your stretch. We're gonna hold this about another 20 seconds. Hamstrings need some love. You want to add a toe tap? I sometimes have a very hard time holding long stretches. So sometimes adding a little movement makes it a little bit more doable. All right, let's come out of this and come down on the floor. Oh, my. Let's cross your left knee over your right knee and hug both legs in. All that bouncing, all the springing, you didn't do a lot of legs. Well, we did. We did the squats and then the marching. You don't think holding yourself up with your feet elevated takes strength? You're underestimating yourself. So let's tip a little bit to the right. Really get that stretch. I feel it on the outside of my IT band and my hamstring all the way down into my deeper hip muscles. And just breathe. See if you can feel your rib cage on the floor. And come up to center. We'll slide the ankle on the knee. So you're still holding onto your leg. You're going to take your other hand, put it on your thigh, and push pull. Pull the right leg in, push the left thigh away. And relax. Maybe your back will pop. Maybe it'll feel like your hips are evening out. Another big deep breath in. Exhale, bring your right foot down, and let's butterfly that left knee. And then energetically keeping that knee away from you, let's twist down to the right. So you're getting a stretch through the left side of your rib cage, all the way down into your front of your hip, down the side of your leg. And bring it back up, and we'll switch sides. So right knee over left, or the reverse if you were on the other side. Hug both legs in, let your deeper hip muscles stretch. Hug them in tight. Big deep breaths expanding through your rib cage. And then tip a little bit towards your left, or whichever direction that top foot is going in. And then come back, we'll slide the ankle over the knee. Classic number 4 stretch, Piriformis stretch, whatever you choose to call it. We're gonna pull that left leg in. Ooh, and push that right thigh away. Notice how your hips feel. Notice if one side feels tighter than the other. Full push. Find the stretch in those muscles. And then we'll bring our left foot down and butterfly that right knee. That feels better. Giving it some movement rather than trying to hold it in one position. And then hold it away from you and twist down to the left. And we're getting that stretch down the right side through the right hip, all the way down the IT band. Might feel it in the SI joint. And then come up. And we'll take our knees up into tabletop and go side to side. No, you're saying we did all this arm work. Where's the upper body stretch? Here it comes. We're going to roll all the way over onto one side, arms stretched out in front of you. Tuck your knees up, hold on to them with that bottom arm. And let's get a nice big chest and back twist. There we go. If your shoulder doesn't want to hit the floor, bring your arm down and open it again. You can make it dynamic. We're going to hold it for a little bit. Breathe into this. Make sure you get full range of motion through your rib cage. You're not tense. You're not holding on to things. You haven't started your day yet, I hope. If you have, you've let it go already. All you have is now. Let that rib cage expand. Go for another 10 seconds. Might try straightening your legs, see how that feels. The weight's in the way. And let's go over to the other side. So fetal position, knees tucked up towards your chest. Hand right on your knees, holding them stacked. Reach forward. Oh, this is my tighter side. Yes, indeedy. See if you can use those muscles, use your breath, bring that shoulder all the way to the floor. If not, come forward again and make it a little bit more dynamic and see if that helps. Also sometimes helps to look over the outstretched arm. So if your right arm is out, turn your head to the right. And then try straightening your legs. See what that feels like. If it doesn't feel good, come back to bent knees. If it does feel good, you found a new stretch. And we'll stay here about 5 more seconds. Let's bend your knees. Bring that outstretched arm in. Roll over and come up onto hands and knees. Take your time. We're just going to do some nice, easy hip circles. And back the other way. So I trust everything is still connected and feeling good this morning. We'll see how everyone feels tomorrow, because it sounds like I wasn't the only one who had a bit of a break. So take your arms behind your back and roll your shoulders. You're gonna pull your arms down like you're reaching for the floor, and then see if you can lift up. But the key is try not to arch your back. You want to always try to keep your ribs stacked right over your hips. You can look down, you can look up. And then swing your arms. You might feel good to do this throughout the day. We really did do a lot of arms and shoulders. So let me know what you think. Got any feedback? I'm always open to it. We want to go back to our old warm-up. We can go back to our old warm-up. I just thought I'd try to mix things up and do it a little bit differently. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back here on Thursday.